Flydigi dropped this bombshell out of nowhere. It seemed like only yesterday they released the Vader 3 Pro, and then lo and behold, we get the Vader 4 Pro announced via the YouTube channel. And it created so much buzz and demand that people really want to know what the controller is like. So I decided to compare it to the Vader 3 Pro and the Apex 4. Now, first of all, if you want to order this on Amazon, it seems to be sold out at the moment. But if you don't mind, AliExpress, you may find something there without getting ripped off. It's probably between $65 to $80. So far, there's a lot to like about the controller, and with the new thumbstick tension feature, it's a cheaper way to offer the customization if you compare it to the Apex 4, which we have here along with the Vader 3 Pro. Now, is this controller a hybrid of the Apex 4 and Vader 3 Pro? Stick around to find out as we get into the intro. The Vader 4 Pro offers its newest feature, which is derived from the Apex 4, namely the force adjustment lever, rocker, or the rotary knob here. Actually, both have rotary knobs, and they're used to adjust the thumbstick tension. It also offers force switching vibration triggers or trigger locks, and you can press them like the click of a mouse. Back here, pressing this up, you notice this versus this. So different heights. This is the same feature on the Vader 3 Pro, and they're both Hall effect triggers. Now, the Vader 4 Pro offers 1000 Hertz or 1 millisecond of input lag, which matches that of the Apex 4 in wired mode or wireless dongle mode. So I haven't taken a look in the Bluetooth connection, but I'm pretty sure it's more than that. And when I tell you that this thing is really fast, believe me, I am not joking around when it comes to how quick the input lag is. It's pretty impressive that they're offering such a feature at this price point for the Vader Pro. Now, the buttons are micro switch, just like on the Apex 4 and the Vader 3 Pro. It also features RGB lighting, like the Vader 3 Pro, but as you see here, it has a black finish on the top versus the silver finish on the Vader 3 Pro. And then you can check the differences between the rings, D-pad, other visual differences if you need. A couple of comparisons there for those two. And just like the Vader 3 Pro and the Apex 4, the Vader 4 Pro is compatible with their line of extra thumbsticks, charging case, and protective case. Actually, make that charging stand. So here's a comparison of the Apex 4 and the Vader 4 Pro, and mostly the visual differences are the CNC buttons on this controller, but you see on this, it features the tool used for the thumbstick tensions for these joysticks, while this uses the rotary knob, as previously mentioned, to get those thumbstick adjustments that you need. And the Apex 4 also shows the rumble motors inside. As far as the layout in the back, this one has the triggers where you can lock them or not versus this, because it uses the force switchback vibration triggers, but basically they're triggers similar to the PlayStation 5. Now that all of that is out of the way, let me show you how all the buttons sound in this comparison. Alright, and here we go with the sound samples. Now we're going for the ABXY. Along with the CZ for these two controllers. Other face buttons. And of course that turns it on. So there you get an RGB comparison. And then last, the thumbsticks. That should be enough. There you are. Alright, now to go ahead and show the shoulder and trigger sounds. And yeah, the back buttons, those are very important. Then I'll finally compare the Vader 3 Pro to the Apex 4 back buttons. Now, to be clear, once again, all the controllers offer the ABXY micro switches, while these two offer the CZ buttons, and I believe they are not micro switch buttons. As far as the D-pad is concerned for all of them, my personal ranking from first to third is as follows: the Apex 4, Vader 3 Pro, and the Vader 4 Pro. That doesn't mean the Vader 4 Pro has a bad D-pad. I personally just found it a bit, how would I say, less accurate compared to these two. However, this was completely subjective, so definitely try out these controllers for yourself. They are pretty close in general, but in fighting games, that's where I really felt the main differences, especially in Tekken 8 and Street Fighter 6. So like, once again, even though I consider this number 3, it's not too far off, if a little bit of a minor difference. But overall, I think they all have good D-pads and can be used for fighting games. Alright, and let's do a comparison of the thumbstick bottoms themselves. So there's the Vader 4 Pro, Vader 3 Pro. Now the Vader 3 Pro features K-Silvers, while the Vader 4 Pro has their own little in-house technology. I mean, looking at that blue, you can tell it looks new. And then Flydigi also has their own sticks for the Apex 4 as well. These are still by far the best in comparison to the Vader 4 Pro. So hope that gives you a good idea. Now this is something I'll show a little bit slowly just to be more careful with the controllers. But as you can see, they all have the exact back button layout. In my opinion, the back buttons are the same. I mean, they sound different, yes, but in gameplay, they felt the same. So I didn't notice like any sort of benefit from any of the controllers. Now the back buttons can be customized through the Space Station software, and you can program macros or just single button commands, like if you're playing Doom Eternal. Maybe it could be used for running or shooting, whatever you decide. As far as the Apex 4 though, you can program the back buttons as well through its screen. Overall comfort and grip for the controller is solid, but not heavy. I felt the same as far as comfort for these controllers were very good, but the Flydigi was noticeably heavier, but when I played it for long sessions, my hands weren't tired. Now I will give you the weight figures from the research that I've done. The Apex 4 weighs in at 325 grams, while the Vader 3 Pro weighs at 262 grams. The Vader 4 Pro weighed in at 267.3 grams, and the battery life actually is 15 hours with the rumble and RGB off, which was indicated as you see here in this picture by Flydigi's AliExpress store, directly from the horse's mouth. The Vader 3 Pro, per Flydigi's Amazon page, is also indicated to have a 15-hour battery life. Now, as far as the Apex 4, it had some wild numbers. Off Flydigi's AliExpress page, it says that the Apex 4 has 160 hours in Bluetooth mode, 40 hours in wireless security mode, and 60 in wireless 360 mode. So I mean, the battery on this one is essentially one of the best in the industry. One of the big reasons for that is because these two have 800 milliamp batteries, while the Apex 4 has a 1500 milliamp battery. So if you want to play long term and not worry about charge time, this is the way to go. Speaking of charge time, both the Vader 3 Pro and Vader 4 Pro are 2 hours, and the Apex 4 for me was between 2 to 3 hours, since you have to add a little more juice to the controller, but it still seems to have a quick charge time feature in my experience. I think the Vader 4 Pro is a fine controller. It's more of an evolution than a revolution, and just to give you an idea of the thumbstick tension feature, so I'm making this one the loosest and this one the tightest. So way tougher on this one, and this is obviously way looser. So there's a big difference to that. And I personally think that the rotary knobs, really do help with the customization. It's a lot easier than taking off the shell, because you need to remove the D-pad, the thumbsticks, and the shell for the Apex 4, and then adjust it with the key. So it just takes up more time from a convenience aspect. However, when it comes to the actual feel of the thumbsticks, hands down, these are the best, whether it's using the thumbstick tension or not. It's amazing for me how good of a controller this one is. So personally, if you already have the Vader 3 Pro, you don't need the newest 4 model unless you really need that thumbstick tension adjustment. As a whole, I really like the Vader 4 Pro a lot and would highly recommend it to anyone who doesn't have an Apex 4 or a Vader 3 Pro. Then again, there's nothing wrong about adding it to your collection if you already have these two, like I did. It feels like the Vader 3 Pro, with the only noticeable difference being the thumbstick tensions, with a slightly downgraded feel for the D-pad, but not by much. For me, the best controller is, like I said before, the Apex 4. But a word to Flydigi, please change the rear button layout. It's not the most comfortable, and I know I'm not the only reviewer, like even users' comments that I've read, whether it's my channel or through another, think that it could use a better layout. So in the next redesign, if you guys can change that, it would be really great. Now we'll compare the input lag and circularity test of all 3 controllers with these screenshots to make this video as short and sweet as possible. Now, as you can see on this picture, there is a special feature a little bit down to the bottom, highlighted under the blue box called rectangle, ironically, and you can switch off between rectangle and circle for your circularity shape. So essentially it'll be more of a wide, round, like oval rectangle style, and the circle will literally make your joysticks more circular in motion, and it makes a big difference in the circularity tests, as I'll show you in the next pictures. Now for the circularity tests on the Vader 3 Pro, on the first picture it is going to show 7.2% average error on the left, same on the right side, 7.2%, and then in the wireless dongle mode on the next picture, the average error is 6.8% on the left and 6.6% on the right. Alright, now we're looking at the Apex 4, and we're going to give you the pictures for the previous data in the video for the circularity test. In wired mode, the left is 6.8 and right is 9.2% average error. For the wireless dongle, it is 6.7 to the left and 9.5% on the right. In Bluetooth mode, on the left it's 6.6% and 9.2% average error rate. First, we'll show the circularity test in the rectangular mode for the Vader 4 Pro. And on the first picture, it is in wired mode, and it is a 13.8% average error on the left, 13.4% on the right. And then in wireless mode, using the dongle, it is 14.2% on the left, and the average error on the right is 13.5%. The next picture shows a huge difference, with the average error in wired mode at a 0.6% on the left and 0.2% on the right, followed by the last picture in the wireless dongle mode, 0.8% average error rate on the left with a 0.2 average error percent on the right. Alright, now we're doing the input lag for the Vader 3 Pro. First in wired mode at 1.73 milliseconds with a polling rate of 577.2 Hertz, and then in the wireless dongle mode it is 1.83 milliseconds with a polling rate of 546.1 Hertz. Now for the input lag in wired mode for the Vader 4 Pro, with an average of 0.98 milliseconds and a polling rate of 1022 Hertz, as well as in wireless dongle mode, it is an average of 0.94 milliseconds with a polling rate of 1058.33 Hertz. And now to finish it off, we're going to do the input lag for the Apex 4. In wired mode, it is 0.86 milliseconds with a polling rate of 1160.5 Hertz. The wireless dongle is 0.87 milliseconds with a polling rate of 1146 Hertz, And finally, the Bluetooth is 29.02 milliseconds with a polling rate of 34.46 Hertz. And now we'll go ahead and do some gameplay of the Vader 4 Pro on the Steam Deck. And one other thing that I want to mention is that the Vader 4 Pro offers gyroscopic controls. They seem to be more accurate on the Steam Deck than they are on the Switch. So just keep that in mind whenever you use the controller. And it does not have amiibo support. Actually, none of these have amiibo support, and none of them have a headphone jack. Now let's go ahead with the gameplay. Alright, first we'll try out some Sonic Mania Plus gameplay. Now for some Street Fighter 6 gameplay. Now this game will be in party mode just to keep it a little more on the relaxed side.
information at this time.
Is this a hybrid of the Apex 4 and the Vader 3 Pro? The answer to me, yes. Now, everyone's opinion is going to vary, but it has the adjustable tension for the thumbsticks of the Apex 4 minus the screen, and provides everything else from the Vader 3 Pro into one package. An overall good package, mind you. Once again, this gets a high recommendation for me in general, as it's light and really does have a lot of pro features and customization. It doesn't feel like a cheap controller. Granted, this does feel more premium, but this isn't too far off. It's nice to know that you're getting a good price at $65 to $80. And that about wraps it up for this review. If you found this comparison and or review helpful, do the usual. If your time permits, please comment, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you to all my viewers. I always appreciate your time. And for now, I wish you all a wonderful rest of the month. Till next time, please take care.